Now we're going to come on to batting, and the first thing I'd like to look at is Nick's feet, which is somewhere in the region of 6-8 inches apart, straddling the crease. If you turn around now please, Nick. The main thing that I want to watch is eyes nice and level, not too cramped up here, this shoulder nicely forward, knees slightly bent to keep his head over the ball. Now if you go into your back lift please, Nick, push back, everything in a nice straight line. He's not back on his heels, he's nice evenly balanced, he can either go forward or he can come backwards. Now if he comes forward just to play a straight ball shot, Nick please, you can see that with that nice high back lift he can come through in a straight line and present the full face of the bat. Now if the longer that full face of the bat is on the line of the ball, the more positive the shot. Thank you very much. Right, one of the most important things when we're starting is of course the grip. And one easy way is to place the bat down in front of you, just pick it up, and then if we go sideways please Fred, then we find that the V's of the two hands, between the middle and the edge of the bat. Now hands closer together, top grip nice and firm, the bottom hand slightly relaxed. Now that's great. If we can get them as near to that as possible, that would be magnificent. But of course with many of the handicaps we again can't do that. Right. Simple little exercise to start in the very first instance with the batting. And Annette has proved then that... Well done Richard. And Peter. The coffee bar here at Centre North West in Oswald Street, and we're just having a little chat here about the laws. I've got Bob Morris and Ken Roberts, who umpires with the Shropshire Umpires Association, and Sam, who is taking his exams later on this year. Now there's a saying in cricket that practice makes perfect. And the one thing that we've got to remember when watching young Nick, although he's only 14, he's been playing cricket since he was 6. And a lot of things come natural to him. With the disabled cricketers, many of them never thought that they could play cricket. And so they haven't got that inbuilt knowledge of cricket. And the laws, of course, is a very important part of that. And the practice make perfect bit means that we've got to do all in our powers to give them cricket on a regular basis so that they can acquire that. Now, I think it's better if we start with the one law that is probably the most controversial of all, and that's the LBW. And if I read out briefly the law as I see it, the batter shall be given out if, in the umpire's opinion, any part of the striker intercepts the ball with any part of their person, and the ball would have hit the stumps, and has not struck the bat or the hand holding the bat first, providing that the ball is pitched in a straight line between wicket to wicket, hitting the person between wicket and wicket. The exception is the ball intercepted outside the line of the stump, of the off stump, with the striker making no attempt to play the ball. This does not apply to a ball outside the leg stump. In disabled cricket, a wheelchair or a support, we're saying, should be considered part of the person. Ken, the LBW law is a very difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, to start with, a ball can pitch on the offside, provided it hits the batsman in line.
Yes.
Which you didn't say there. The other thing is, with disabled cricket, normally we line them up, I line them up, so that the wheelchair is just barely in line with leg stump, only just. So, for a ball hitting a wheelchair, it is almost impossible for them to be LBW, the way we line them up. Because they're just barely in just the outside edge is just over the leg stump, so it's almost impossible to be LBW if it hits the wheelchair.
Yes. Well, Bob, there are a lot of things you've got to consider before you give an LBW, aren't there?
Yes. but principally with the disabled is getting them lined up before they start to bat.
Yeah.
And I think, particularly with the wheelchair or the age, you make sure the age are not going to interfere with play.
Yeah.
I think that's what Ken was.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the main thing. Yes, you must.
Sam, a short deviation to a person, say a couple of feet outside the popping crease, means that the ball could move quite considerably by the time it gets to the wicket.
Oh yeah.
And you have to bear these many things in mind. Also, the ball that could bounce over the stumps. It's going to demonstrate the 3 different positions for a wheelchair when batting. All I'd like to say very quickly is that Mike Jordan, as you can see, is a member of ACC and was a powerful batsman and a good all-round player. Now, since his stroke, he's been very, very useful to us in Shropshire in helping other disabled people because of his knowledge as a coach. Position 2, which can be a variance of position 1 and 2, whichever is the most comfortable. Now, the first thing we have to do when we're coaching batting is to find out exactly where we need to drop the ball or bounce the ball. Peter, will you just play forward, please? Okay, that will do. Thank you very much. Now, with able-bodied cricketers, it is a little tiny bit easier than it is with disabled cricketers because many of them do things in so many different ways. But that's the one thing that we have to do is to mark where we're going to pitch the ball, not just pitch it anywhere. Okie dokie. Batter. Now here we're encouraging the players to play straight bat shots. You'll notice that in the case of Peter, Fred shouts bat up, drops the ball, gives him time to play the ball, and Peter's playing quite nice and straight. Now we're coming on to Richard Ferber. Now we found that with Richard, we have to throw the ball, and Bill's now getting down on one knee and just throwing the ball nice and quietly to Richard.
Ready, Richard? Hard luck.
Batter.
Don't forget the ball.
Get the ball, Richard.
Great.
Well done. Now,
Repeat. Back up.
well done, Peter.
Good shot, Simon. Good shot.
Okay, good demonstration, Simon. One more. Right, there's a little point that I put in here with regard to the wicketkeeper. You can't take the ball in front of the stumps
No,
as a wicketkeeper.
not unless it's been touched by unless the batsman's, it's hit the batsman or he's played it.
Now, when we're talking about no bobbles,
Well,
an interesting point here before we go on to that subject is that a batter can be given out off a no ball. I wonder if you can remember it.
well, there's 4 ways he can be given out. One is run out, second handle the ball, obstructing the field, and hitting the ball twice, that's right.
Great, yeah, that's it. I've only got 3 actually. The definition of a no ball.
What do you mean, on the front foot?
Yeah, shall I tell you how I see it? That no, I'm talking about the front foot. Yeah, that's got to be behind the line, hasn't it?
Some part of the front foot.
And it hasn't necessarily got to be grounded as long as it's behind the line.
No, it's got to be behind.
And I saw the definition of a throw is the arm straightening immediately before the ball leaves the hand.
Yeah, it's got to be straight as long as delivery. And
It hasn't got to move, has
It's
it?
a difficult one.
I've never seen anybody call for throwing in Shropshire League yet, or
It's a
any other.
difficult one.
Even though some bowlers admit they do chuck occasionally.
Yeah, and Sam, the back foot comes into it as well on the no ball,
Yeah,
doesn't
That's
it?
right.
That must be inside.
And that's the most difficult thing of the lot.
Yeah, you can't see that.
Yeah.
Difficult of the lot.
One
Again, with that handicap for disabled person, it's quite ultimately difficult for them to bowl without a bend in the arm or
Yeah. you've got to give a lot away.